Here, the bees, the carton of eggs. I just did a live where I tried to do some psychic readings of the tarot deck, and I think one of the workers, her program is getting defunded today because of Trump. So she's really stressed out. So I think she had to like gain control over something. Because after she made me turn the live off, she wanted me to turn off everything, like the computer, the TV. She started just barking orders at me, like do this, do this, do this. And she didn't really give me a chance to answer. I was confused because she asked me to turn the live off, and I politely turned the live off, and then she kept going, and I was like, what do you think this is? You can't keep going. I asked her, like, do you think I'm live right now? And she's like, no. So I was like, let her sit in that. And then she's like, I'm just going to take your computer. So I was like, take it. So she confiscated it because I wouldn't turn the computer off, even though she was just mad I was live streaming and I showed her me turning the live off. So I don't know, maybe she thought I was lying. I think it was just, then she got really passive aggressive and rude. But I think it's just because she's stressed. So I'm hanging out with some bees out here. Earlier this morning, I came in here for a coffee and to take a shit. And they were very mean to me. They're like, are you here for a free meal? And I was like, well, I want to use your bathroom and then I'll think about a coffee. Here's a crow going left to right. Very ominously. So I had them cook me some eggs, thinking I had money, but ChatGPT and Walmart Plus took my subscription money. So I'm out. I got nothing. So I wasn't able to pay for the eggs they were cooking me, so I had to leave. And then she was very rude. She was already extremely rude. Not that woman, this woman in here. So I was like, I had $3 cash, so I was able to pay for the coffee, and she was giving me, just from seeing my face, it just made her so angry before I even had to ask about what it means to have sunny side up, and maybe I want it over hard, not over easy. Everything she said was a punch. She was just viciously angry at me for existing with hair that looks like this. Don't worry about it, man. All I'm trying to do is get a solar panel, computer, e-bike. I'm trying to figure out Capstone is trying to help me figure out programs I can talk to get me as much money as they can from these programs before Trump shuts them down, so I can milk them for everything they have. Here we go. So I'm gonna, because those 2 eggs went to waste, even though I know they sold them, I'm gonna offer them 2 eggs. Dad. Coming in.
No worries.
I just don't want to get out of the sunlight.
Thank you, sir.
No problem. I had them cook me some eggs this morning, and my card declined because of online transactions. So I'm giving them the eggs. Yeah. Hey, I wasn't able to pay for the eggs if you wanted eggs.
What's that?
I wasn't able to pay for the eggs this morning because Walmart took my money for Walmart Plus.
Okay.
I got some eggs if you want some.
We're all good.
All right.
Okay, thank
No
you.
worries.
Hey, are you leaving as I walk in?
No, sir, I am not. But I did forget what I was going back. Oh, no, I didn't forget what I ate.
Very happy people today. That changed her whole mood. You see how she was so mad and then she lit up? She's a very fast thinker, so I'm sure she's been a server for a long time. But that was cool. It was like I watched in real time as something in her mind just erased and she was suddenly very happy. So I'm happy about that. It's cool that the Casey that lives here, or that works here, is a Cancer Scorpio moon. And that deals with being at the bottom of everything. because Cancer season, it feels so emotionally vivid because there's so much rain in the sky because of the temperature. It's warm in the summertime, all the spring heat, so there's all the spring showers, and the leaves are fresh, and the leaves are all on the trees by Cancer season, so that's why it makes you feel more grounded, because all the leaves that usually Sagittarius doesn't have any leaves, so you're just more connected to the sky. In Cancer season, there's usually big canopies of leaves, so that's why Cancers are automatically dealing with the bottom, feeling like they're below at the bottom of the ocean. And Scorpio is the scorpion that transcends into the phoenix before the Celtic firehawk. So Scorpios is a transformation sign that deals with bringing the bottom up to the top. So we live at the bottom of this big hill. No, but somebody brought me some type of tarot cards today. And it was, let me show you what I can't talk. Just watch. I can't talk. I'm gonna take these outside. I feel like they lunged and just ate up all my energy when they ordered me around. It was just a desperate demonic attack. I really feel like that's what it was. I feel like my mom has attached some parasitic entity to me through the relationship, and that's her need for control that tries to seep in at all times. And I've noticed that other people she speaks to that way, that aren't happy with the way they speak to her, the way my mom speaks to them, also tend to have their impulses invaded by my mom's energy. It's, if she was a better person and she was more compassionate, loving, and less controlling, and more trying to bring you up instead of tear you down and guilt trip you and control you, if she was more the opposite, trying to build you up and leave you alone, like she wants to be a Buddhist so much, if she would actually do it, I think she has the potential to allow people to become so much greater instead of trying to make people into her. You know what I'm saying? So somebody gave me this, and the tarot deck is about this big, but I shuffled it, and I just want to show you the order of the cards that I pulled out today. So the first thing I pulled out was a crow. The second thing I pulled out was a well. So a well is like a deep pit of emotions. Talons. Mountain. Crows, wells, talons in the mountain. The talons in the well, the crows on the mountain. That's what I'm dealing with. That's the problem I'm dealing with. Shell. Shell's confusing. What does that mean? The first thing that came to my head is, one, should I go to the ocean? And two, Pisces energy, water energy, and then dog. And then I'm talking to somebody about giving me a Pisces dog, an Alaskan Malamute. That's somebody's trying to give away a dog that's an amazing 22 February 2022 he was born, so 22222, and he's a Pisces, which is amazing. So it's a Pisces dog on the mountain with the crows. I'm not sure what moth means, other than, moths chase the light, Pisces chase the light, the dreamers in the nighttime. So that's more confirmation on Pisces. Then we have snake, which is transformation. There's the king cobra right there, KC. There's the flowers that I'm planting. But there's also the firework up there. So it's just the year of the snake, transformation, conclusions, rebirth. But in the year of the snake, I have this big point in the summer that's coming up where my astrology, it's like a make or break moment where if I don't do this certain thing, I might be stuck for 10 years that I'm really worried about. I don't know how to do it. I'm just having faith and I'm getting reassurance. So I have crossroads, like anything could happen. It's a split off moment where you're going to end up on a road and go down that road based off your decisions. Home. That was at the end of the first pull. Stopped at home. At the end of the crossroads, you end up home. The decision you take leads you to your home. You know what I'm saying? But in the crossroads are like anywhere you, I have a song that's like anywhere you go, it all leads you home. Yeah. All I've been, I'll see you around. So then I put it down for a second. I got called to pick it up again. I picked it up again. I got called to shuffle it again. I shuffled it again. It's 11:22. So the next thing that I drew were scales, judgment, balance, skull, death. But there's the candle up there. I don't know what that means. Death in tarot means, this isn't a tarot deck, but death in tarot means rebirth, usually. Then I got reflection. So that makes me feel like otherworldly energy, the other side. It also made me think that sometimes people say that when they encounter aliens, the reason aliens can't really talk to us or we're afraid of these alien presence and they feel like demons is because in order for our souls to understand the concept of what's beyond life, there's people are afraid to confront death. So their own fear of death sort of gets in the way of these interactions. Then I had comb, which is pretty obvious. But it's also like undoing the knots and the webs. Like I feel like aliens or spirit guides might be helping to organize my life because of the scales, like bringing balance. The comb, like straightening things out with these things that I might be afraid of, this death reflection. Or maybe it's confronting death in order to stay balanced. But then we had fire and wand. In tarot, wand is associated with the fire element. Like the King of Wands is like a Sagittarius, Aries type, like a fire energy, bold, Leo. Where like Pentacles, I think, is earth. Cups is water or air. So it's just fire and wand. Then lantern. So that made me think of opening your third eye through passion. Then that was the end of that poll. Then I had this poll, which was cairn, which made me think of the stones that are by the river, near where I am, where I want to take the stones and stack them. It's also, I thought about monetary resources, staying put, stagnant, and gaining supplies. But it's also like ancient memories housed together. But then we got river. So my wheelbarrow is called River Rock. I'm on the property. There's a big river full of rocks that I want to build stone walls with. I want to take that stone and move it onto the closer to the cabin to use to build stone walls. So I thought like that's telling me to do something. Spider web, which I didn't like. I hate spider web because I had a friend that said his spirit animal was a spider, and I always felt like somehow they were infiltrating my mind to like eat me alive and siphon out my resources. And then they showed up and said they were cool because they take things on the ground, and their dick was a tree trunk. And I was like, then one time he opened up the trunk and pulled out my charging block that I lost, that he had. And then he put a bunch of things under it. Like, this is what I did with your connection to source. I have all this stuff I created with it. Take some stuff. And I was like, man, you stole that to get that. You took it and didn't tell me. So I thought that I have to get away from this controlling spider, but that could also be capstone here, because there's a Cancer Scorpio here. The star card, once I get away from the spider, focus on the star. Or it could be an Aquarius. Palm, I felt like once I get away from the spider, or if I have to become this emperor type, then becoming the star is right in the palm of my hands. I'm almost there. Fox, but there's the braid here, so I'm worried that it's the last card. I don't know what Fox is, fire cat, but Fox is also like the enemy of the earth, the rabbit. You're the rabbit. And then the last card was spiral, but it was the cool, the eagle's horns. Like the skull that you see in Arizona all the time on the indigenous reservations. And spiral is just, we talked about the year of the snake. The spiral is life, the Milky Way galaxy, the golden spiral. That life just goes in loops and loops and loops, like this capstone logo right here. But I'm not in the building, so I do not represent them. But they have this spiral right here, and that just means that life, history doesn't repeat itself, it rhymes. So you're just going through over and over and over again like a carousel, that all these experiences are going to keep happening until you learn and you grow. And then that growth is the hero's journey that all stories are founded on. The change before you return home at the end. So that was in the deck, and it ended on spiral, just like it restarts. And then when you restart it, it's back to crow. So it was just pretty obvious in a deck of like 150 cards how specific those were to my story. And I went off the same intuition that's helped me win the lottery a couple times with lottery tickets, picking the different ones at the gas station. And I followed that intuition to get like $150 once. A bee just flew up to me and then left. I definitely feel weird. So I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, then I gotta get off this so I can go back and organize my stuff. And then maybe I'll go live later and go for a walk. But I'm gonna smoke. I don't know who's here. So really, I'm trying to get a solar panel and a portable power station so that I can be out there longer, and I could do things like live stream me raking and getting the rocks from the river and fixing up the cabin. I can do time-lapse streams with the phone. Then eventually, if I get a computer and a microphone, I can start recording and making the songs. I'm trying to get a camera off Marketplace with a SD card so that I can do these short films, because the only reason I have my hair like this right now is because I have a music video idea, and once I brush this, it's not coming back. Like, this is 2 years worth of knotted, like you can't put your finger in this. It's like one giant dreadlock, and it used to be all over. Yeah, appreciate it. I've been on the fence about a GoFundMe for a while. I don't know, if I did a GoFundMe with everything I need, I don't see why it would hurt anything. But I see that when you talk about it, people tune out. I don't know. To get away from the building a little bit. There is an ashtray here, so I'm assuming it's okay to smoke. I'm trying to be polite, you know? Oh shit. Hello, wasp. Yellow Jackets, which is that show about the forest. But yeah, Trump is closing down this program. So we're not sure what's going to happen, but they really helped me out. I was really disappointed with how things turned out, but I keep getting notifications for tarot readings that are extremely specific to me, and they call me out by name sometimes. Usually there's a card in a deck that a lot of tarot readers use called the Tibetan Fire Serpent, and that's the 33 life path. The Tibetan Fire Serpent, which sounds a lot like that feels like a fire serpent to me. My music feels a lot like a charge. But one of the videos I got a notification for 33 minutes after it was posted, and it was like 33 minutes and 11 seconds, and I'm in 11:33, so there's obvious symbolism there, divine timing. And he just said that I was sitting over there smoking a cigarette, and he says, okay, I feel a migraine and I feel it collapsing in my throat. I don't know what that is, and it was me smoking the cigarette. And he said, your ancestors just want you to know they're disappointed but not in you, and that you were sent here to help, and they just couldn't do it. That it's not on you, it was just their decisions, and you had no control over it. And to not beat yourself up because they love you and they're so proud of how far you've come. And if you could only see your potential and what you really are once the amnesia goes away, if you could just he was mad. He was like, if you could just shake out of this amnesia and realize who you are and what you're supposed to be, because I can see you and holy shit. People call me a king. Nobody's ever called me human. They're like, you're not, whatever you are, you're not a human. You're something, the guy said, you're something that I, as a soul, am not able to understand yet. And then he pulled the 33 Tibetan fire serpent. And they just said that I came here to help. Like I came here right when Casey was trying to make a homeless shelter and she needed to put on a big show for a fundraiser. And then I spoke at the church, and then the next day somebody picked me up on the road and brought me to a different church, and I ended up speaking about sex trafficking because there was another guy that wanted to build a shelter. So there are two people that want to get grants to build shelters to help people. And I called my cabin Sanctuary long before I even found the cabin. I drew a picture of the cabin months before I found it, and I titled it Sanctuary. I didn't know I don't know if that means me or if that means that in the future I might have to take care of people the way that I take care of the animals. And I took care of the kids and programs. My garden. I'm just looking at the bees. But I have faith. I don't know, I gotta push myself. I gotta run until I have panic attacks because I wake up and the blood goes back to my brain and or maybe not. I don't know. Something just flew left to right. But the bird's chirping right to left. When I ask for confirmation and you haven't heard the birds at all. The birds have not chirped at all. Can you hear that? Did you hear it? I heard it. There's a bee. That I asked for a confirmation and the bird started singing directly to me when I start talking. Because animals live half in earth and half somewhere else. And they just don't need to worry about the things that humans do because it's not their job. So, their spirit. They see things we don't. Am I on the right path? I don't know, but that sounds like words. It sounds like it's trying to say something to me. I never hear birds chirp like that ever. That sounds like a sentence to me in a language I just don't. If I had more water, more sunlight, fasted, and more rest, and I had been away from technology for a while, I bet that I could feel the electromagnetic stimulation of the ether around me and be able to empathize and download whatever it's transmitting once I got to a better level. Usually when I get to that level, like yesterday, sirens went off until I felt my trauma show up and the crows followed me around screaming at me. until I stopped. But it's usually just needing to learn boundaries. I was wrong. So I don't know what I'm supposed to do. But we go until we die. So something wrapped around the side of my head just told me, as I'm trying to raise my vibration, that in the future it may be a lot harder for some people to get to this level. Like, it's been the time for years to be building this practice, to be raising your vibration and learning how to hold on to compassion. And most people associate raising your vibration with becoming prideful because of this kind of stack over each other social hierarchies. So getting rid of that is important to not wind up a spiritual narcissist. How to raise your vibration with love, heal your divine feminine and masculine, and be who you really are. That's really hard. Oh, I'm talking. There's a restaurant in front of me with tons of people eating, and they're all looking at me. They fucking went in. I'm gonna get in trouble for that. All right, they're gonna go chew me out because a couple just walked in. They're not supposed to. Over and out.